Hi there, I'm Sarami from SoSo, and I want to do a quick video on how to print PDF patterns. They're so common now, and they're not going away. So I figure that maybe it's time to give you some tips and tricks to get on board with this and maybe make it a little less painless. And also, there are some really amazing merits to it that you'll probably be surprised to discover. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about the two ways that you can get a PDF pattern. You're going to get it emailed to you, but what I mean by the two ways is that it can be a PDF that is a print at home version that you use your home printer on, or a copy shop version that you send away and have someone else print for you. And that method is often called A0 or A0, which is the page size. And it's also called wide format or large format or copy shop, and it is a large piece of paper. All your pattern pieces fit on it, and it's a little bit more close to what you used to getting when you get a pattern in an envelope and you open it up and unfold it all. It usually comes rolled in a tube or folded up, so you'll have to just determine what works best for you. So I'm going to show you how to assemble a PDF print at home version, and also how to order a copy shop large format version from 3 different websites that I know of. I use Plottingcom often. I'm in the United States and they ship to me. And then the other two I'm going to show you is patternz.com, they ship worldwide, and the Foldline.com. So there's 3 different copy shop versions. But I also wanted to encourage you to maybe look for a printer that's in your own town. You might be surprised that you might find someone that will print this for you. And by the end of this, you're going to know exactly what to ask for, and you'll also be able to see some of the pricing that's out there, so that you can figure out what's best for you. But the chances are there is probably in most towns a printer that has a wide format plotter, or you can go to a blueprint plotter, because that's what those little plotters are called. That's what it is. It's just this wide format printing. A lot of pattern drafters use them in their design room, and then there's really big ones for making other styles of printouts. So, all right, let's get to it. So here are 2 print-at-home versions of a pattern. So you can see on this one here, the little letters or numbers that are right here, that's what you're going to line up. And my first tip is when you get your stack of pages, because sometimes it's a stack. This pattern right here is 24 pages, and I've seen definitely more than that also, is cut off one side of all of the pieces that have this on it, so that when you go to line it up, this little edge is gone, and it's really easy to see that you're lining up accurately to the other piece that you're taping it to. Don't be too skimpy on the tape either. You don't need to do it up here or here. Just do it on the pattern piece. Just focus your tape on the pattern piece. And if you really want to reinforce it, tape it on the back as well. All right, and then this style here has the number right in the middle of the page, and then they're going to give you a schematic that shows you how to lay out the pages. Usually it's really straightforward, you know, it's 1 through 6 and then 7 through whatever, and you're going to do it row by row. So the same thing, cut the right hand edge off of all those pages, look at the schematic, see how many pages it is across, and it's going to be more obvious as you get going, because you're going to start seeing your pattern lines here line up to the other edge of the pattern, or the other, you know, continuing the line onto the pattern piece, and it'll look very, you know, it'll be very understandable then. So I recommend when you have something like this tiled format with the number in the middle, do each row and then cut the long edge off of the bottom of each row. That way when you tape it to the row below it, it's really easy to line it up, and it's just a little less maddening. It's a little easier. It's a more palatable task, and it's a really great opportunity to start familiarizing yourself with the pattern you're about to be cutting out, and kind of looking it over and seeing what questions you might have that you didn't realize you might have. So I want to show you one more thing And also highlight that you're going to most likely print these out with the actual size checked on your printer dialog box, but there may be other options you can do to reduce ink or toner use by checking a box with that. So just see what options are available to you. I like to use Adobe Acrobat Reader. I find it to be the most universal, and a lot of these pattern companies will give you instructions that probably pertain to using Adobe Acrobat Reader. So I want to show you one other thing that's pretty nifty, and this is one thing that might make you take a shine to using PDF patterns in some cases. So I'm going to show you my computer screen. You're going to see it. It's going to look a little weird at first, but I'm going to show you where I keep my patterns. Here we go. So you can see right here, I keep all my patterns in a folder, obviously named Patterns Bought or Patterns Purchased. And then I further organize them, and I will put the ones that I just got and downloaded in one called To Print. Now, when you go to open your downloads, and maybe you're downloading it right off of your receipt that you just purchased on their website and you're downloading it immediately, it's going to most likely go to the bottom of your internet browser. So look there first, but it doesn't live there. So as soon as you navigate away, or not navigate away, as soon as you close your browser, all your downloads that you've downloaded that day disappear, but they're not gone. They're still on your computer. That's just a shortcut for you to find it. So usually they go to a folder like this right here. This one says downloads right here. And so you'll find whatever you've gotten that day right there in that folder, and then you need to move it to where it's going to live forever. And so I immediately put it into this To Print folder. This is just my tips. I feel like when you make it really obvious and easy, you're most likely to keep using it and you'll find it. And so I obviously, organize my patterns by all kinds of things: knitting and quilting, cross stitch, sewing, whatever. So once I've printed it, it goes into one of those other folders. So I'm going to show you the layers feature on a couple of patterns that I've seen. So on the one I'm going to show you, this one is on the Copy Shop version. This is the Mountain View Pull-On Jeans by Itch to Stitch Designs. She always puts the layers feature on there, and she also puts all of her patterns in full color. So if this little bar, if you cannot see what you're opening here, you can slide this right here. Just wait till you get that little symbol. I'm on a PC, so sorry Mac users. I'm sure you have similar options. Just expand this. I also use the mouse with my left hand. I know it's a little distracting. And you're going to look for your Copy Shop version here. See, so this one says large format. The V's are her versions. Like, that's in her own in-house way of determining which version she's given you. So here's the large format version. And I'm using Adobe Acrobat Reader. And so right over here, this isn't on all patterns, but when you discover this, it's worth investigating. If it has it, you're gonna probably be pretty excited. So here's this layers feature, and now you see how there's all these different sizes and all these different colors. I mean, it's really nice that she already does it in color, but if you don't want to pay for color printing, if you find a printer who's willing to only print the layers that you want, you can get rid of all of the sizes that you're not printing. So say I'm just going to print the size 18. I could really calm down the pages. Say you want to do the 16 and the 18 because you're grading through your waist and your hip to do two different sizes, or maybe you're the size 16 in the waist and a 20 in the hip. You can print just those three sizes. So I feel like that right there makes a lot of people jump up and down for joy. So you just need to make sure you find that printer, and most likely a local printer will print in the layers for you. So just investigate it further, and I'll show you a place to ask for that. All right, so so I'm not sure if Itch to Stitch does it for her print at home version, but she does it on her Copy Shop. All right, so on the Sunday V-neck here, this is the one I just got today. There's a print at home version and then the Copy Shop. But you'll notice that the print at home has this layers feature. So you don't have to print all of the sizes. So let's look at this page, see how it would look. See, there's all the sizes. And this is the pattern right here. I only printed one size, so it makes it a lot easier, right? So now you can just get rid of the sizes that maybe you don't want to print. You need to keep this all sizes thing right here clicked, because did you see what happened there? That right there, that little note disappears. So keep the all sizes, and then unclick the sizes you don't want to print. And then that way it's a lot more palatable, right? You don't have to, you know, try and figure out which size you're cutting on. Or maybe you're an extra small and a medium. You can just skip that small right there, you know, and just kind of grade between the sizes. So I figure that right there is a nice little incentive. All right, so now let's get to printing one of these on a copy shop. So here we are. We're at pdfplotting.com, and they have actually reconfigured their site a little bit to be even more friendly towards sewists, because so many people are printing patterns on there. So you just go to this pattern printing tab. You can pick color or black and white. I'm pretty sure they don't do the layers function, but they do color printing. And so that right there alone makes it so much easier if you're willing to pay for that. So let's look at the black and white printing. Now they have a lot of options, and we're going to go and look at the pattern we plan on printing. So we're going to open up the copy shop version. And you need to do this in Adobe Acrobat Reader. And now you're going to hover to the bottom of the corner there. And did you see that black box there that just appeared? I'll go away right there. See the first number right there? That's the width of the paper. So you're not as concerned with that. You just want to make sure that it's under 35 or 36 inches, because that's going to fit in this AO pattern page range. Now the next number is the length of this print. So we can see that this is all the pattern pieces. This is 46.8 inches long. So you need that number, and you need to know how many pages your document is here. So we know it's one page. So if this were 4 pages, it would probably say 1 of 4 that we were looking at right there. So you need that bottom number right there is the number that you're looking for, how many pages it is. Most patterns are going to be 1 to 3 pages, but just make sure you know before you go there. All right, so now we have our information. We're not doing a really narrow plot like this one here, this 24 by 36. We're going to look for AO, there it is, or 36 by 48. So that's it. This is that page. Ours fits right in here perfectly. And you can see all these others are also 36 inches wide. They just get longer and longer. Because some of these patterns are continuous. You're probably not going to see that from an indie pattern company. That's more for a manufacturer who's printing out something called a marker, or someone who's not even in the sewing industry printing out something very, very long. All right, so let's focus on our AO and 36 by 48. Same thing. That's what the AO means. Now, we know it's one page. And we now need to upload our file. So there it is. Copy shop. Make sure you upload the copy shop, not the print at home. And right here, if you want to put any notes, you can do so right there. And I'm pretty sure they don't do the layers feature, but you can always try. Now, for the number of copies, you know, I may get 1 or 2, because sometimes I may want to have a spare copy that's nice and clean that I haven't hacked to bits with modifications, right? Something you can always refer to. So, you know, you might consider doing that if maybe it's something you're kind of nervous about and you know you're going to do a lot of modifications to. Get yourself an extra copy. You're going to see that it's pretty affordable here. $1.39 so far. So, one thing to note at PDF Plotting is they have a $7.50 minimum for printing. So you see the subtotal here, right here? That is the total. So I like to get a few patterns that I need to print and then upload a few at a time, and I kind of just watch that. Once I get to that $7.50 to $9 range, the shipping doesn't change, and it's the best value for what you're getting. So now if you need to add another pattern here, go right back up to the top and start over again. Color or black and white. The color looks the same. It's the same type of thing. It's just color printing. Okay, so now let's look at PatternZ. PatternZ.com. They're in the UK. And you're going to click this graphic, or maybe you've gotten to their page a different way. Now this first page is not their ordering page. This is just a how-to order, which is really helpful. So you can see these highlighted numbers go to these little steps. That's what they're trying to show you. What's the first thing you do? Put in the quantity. What's the second thing you do? Upload your pattern, because this site is unique in that you upload your pattern to a Dropbox. So it's not tied in the transaction on the website. So you got to remember to upload your patterns. All right, so once you know all your information there, you kind of get prepared. You know what to expect. You're going to go to the website, select the printing, and here it is. It looks just like that, right? Without the helpful cues. So we know we want AO, and this site also prints your print at home, which is A4. That's what the print at home is A4. So if you don't have a home printer, because some people don't, you can have them print that out for you. So we're just focusing on CopyShop today. So pick the AO. They may do the layers. You might ask them, so you can put a note there. And then remember, you need to upload your pattern. So don't forget to do that. So you're going to go to Dropbox. You can choose from your computer. Remember, pick the CopyShop or A4 if that's what you're doing. Say upload. Don't forget to upload. How many times can I say that? And now go back here and say how many you want, right? We already did that, and you're going to add to the bag. All right, so now here's the cart over here to the right. It's underneath probably my face. Let's see here. Yep, it's probably under my face there. And click that, and then you're going to check out and pick your delivery and all that. Doesn't look like they have a minimum, but you might just look into that as well. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do is look at the Foldline. They have PDF printing as well. Theirs is very simple. You see that there's a price range right here. You're going to choose your file, click the CopyShop. Make sure you do that because they don't print A4. It won't even work. So at least you're safeguarded and not accidentally printing the print at home. You're going to upload it. And in the notes here, maybe you can ask about the layers. Add to the basket. And then check out however you like. All right. So, how are we feeling now? Are we feeling a little bit more confident about printing our PDF patterns? I hope so. Once you start kind of getting the hang of it, it won't feel so mysterious. And if you have questions, all these companies are super responsive. Just ask them questions. I have talked to PDF plotting even on the phone just to make sure I understood things because I wanted to convey things correctly. And Pattern Z and the Foldline, I know, are both very responsive. So just ask them if you are a little bit nervous and just have them walk you through it the first couple times. Just remember, you can't hurt your patterns. Like opening them up in Adobe Reader and looking at them, you're not going to change anything. You can't accidentally grab a line and move it or anything. It's static. So it's totally safe to kind of browse it and kind of see what you're getting into. And make sure you're using Adobe Acrobat Reader. It's a free program and it's pretty universal. So I highly recommend kind of sticking to that kind of format. And remember to look in your downloads folder when you're downloading your patterns, so you don't have to be the person emailing the company and saying, hey, I can't find my downloads. I've definitely been that person too. and then noticing that you have a pop-up blocker, you have a download blocker, or it's going to a folder that you didn't even know it was going to. So it's good to look for it. And you always hit that search bar at the bottom of your computer, wherever it's at on your computer. Maybe it's different on a Mac. And search for that file name, search for that pattern. You might find your download that way as well. So there's some tips. Definitely done all these things myself, so I understand. So just remember that this is another tool to empower you as a sewist. Don't look at it as another task. I mean, I know it is. I know it's another task and it prevents you from getting to that sewing job faster, but it doesn't take that much longer. Just kind of stack up a few patterns in that to-print folder, and then that way one day when you're ready you can have them printed. If you're wanting something faster, look around in your local town and see if there's a printer that might do that for you, or try the print at home. And sometimes what I do is I look at the schematic that they give me for the pattern pieces, and I can tell, oh, I'm only doing view A, and I see in the pattern list that these are the only things I need in view A, and then I omit all of the pattern pages I do not need to print on that print at home, just to cut down, you know, maybe a 24-page file to 17 pages. So there's a few things you can do. Just kind of use your common sense, and you know, once you have it all taped together and you're looking at it, don't worry, you're not going to have duplicates in there, and if you do, you're going to notice. You really will. You're a smart cookie, I know that. So don't worry about it. This is just going to empower you further. So well, that's all I have for you today. So please let me know what your favorite copy shop is. I'm not sponsored by any of these folks. I just thought that these were probably the most universal, and I'd love to learn about others. Try one in your own town. Let me know what you're sewing, and if you ever want to sew with us, please do. We sew live 3 days a week, or sometimes we cut and do pattern making, and I'd love to see you there. Please place a like on the video if you can. It does help me out. Or comment below. I really like hearing from you. And yeah, that's it. I hope that you give this a try, and happy sewing. So take care.